Tyson looked the more dangerous of the two in the opening round, stalking Gross around the ring, trying to get the job done early. With a minute left on the clock, Gross momentarily stunned Mike with an uppercut followed by a right hook. Seeing a glimpse of weakness, Gross just went all guns blazing to try and shock the world.
Entertain? Absolutely. Any fighter in general would think their main objective is to make the audience go home and let them know they had witnessed something that was incredibly special.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
On today's video, we look back at the night a prime-ready Iron Mike took on the son of a heavyweight boxing legend.
With my pop in my corner, I don't see any way that I can lose.
Something about this occasion made Tyson extremely enraged, exasperated, and eager to close the show as quickly as possible. Fall of '86, the Tyson hype train was back to full throttle after his impeccable one-round annihilation job over fellow contender Reggie Gross.
It's very difficult with a kid who throws hydrogen bombs to get him experience.
To this point, Team Tyson was still matching their prodigy relatively lightly, despite every boxing fan, including Mike himself, convinced he had the tools to mix it up with the current champions in the heavyweight division.
I'm starting to think that you're unstoppable. Do you feel that you're the best heavyweight in the world, that you can step in with anybody right now?
I feel I am the best fighter in the world right now.
Watching a fighter as brilliant as Mike Tyson being steered away from a title shot was frustrating for the boxing community. Yet, in retrospect, his managers, Jim Jacobs and Bill Caton, were not only aiding Mike in building an impressive unbeaten record, they were, more importantly, ensuring the development of a raw young talent that, once he secured his title shot, was the complete finished article.
I'm the leader. I look everything over carefully, and then I send him in to do the job.
The former Hall of Fame legendary heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, who famously beat the previously unbeaten Muhammad Ali in 1971's Fight of the Century, took an entirely against-the-grain approach as to how a fighter should be developed during his managerial years post-retirement.
I'm not in charge, you know. If they say fight King Kong, I'm ready. All I have to do is get my body in condition and my mind and spirit, and I'm ready.
Smokin' Joe had the attitude, if you're going to be a journeyman boxer, there's no point in beating around the bush. As the fighters he trained, such as James Shuler, Burt Cooper, and son Marvis, quickly found out once they were under his tutelage.
If I couldn't train these boys or I couldn't live with these boys, I'd be the first guy to get the hell out the way.
Marvis embraced his father's philosophy, where after a very brief amateur career, he began fighting legitimate top contenders inside his first 10 fights as a pro.
Now against Sowski as he backs him into the ropes above us. Two lefts and a right hand.
Any comments on the fight?
Yeah, proves who the real champion is.
Was it ever close?
It was over before it started.
Think there'll be a rematch?
You think they want one?
That's it.
Welcome back to another Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
If I'm gonna do this, well, as soon as I get in the ring, it's a whole different story. I'm the killer then.
On today's video, we venture back to the closing stages of Tyson's development period in the professional ranks. Still young and undefeated, but now taking on more serious heavyweight contenders.
The very rugged Reggie Gross.
Reggie Gross isn't often credited as a serious contender. However, Tyson's legendary trainer, Cus D'Amato, knew there was more than meets the eye, as he was openly opposed to letting his prodigy take on the Baltimore Bruiser. A short, explosive battle that sent the loser spiraling out of control. Let's take a look.
That's it. There you go. Now you got again. Who's the last guy to stop? Time. There we go.
A lot is made of Tyson's work ethic today. To see a teenage boy so dedicated to his craft is inspiring. When he wasn't in the gym perfecting his technique, he was reading boxing books and magazines, watching classic matches from Cus's library, and even attending events and weighing up his potential opponents in the flesh.
Tyson, welcome to Wembley, Mike.
Thank you very much, Harry.
Just give us...
He was obsessed, but his infatuation with the sport paled in comparison to his trainer and mentor, Cus D'Amato.
An old trainer, had a head full of incredible knowledge, and had this impact on every fighter that he had ever trained.
Cus's traits as a coach were endless. He was a futurist, a boundary breaker, a professor of the sweet science with the communication skills to convey his philosophy in layman's terms. But his most salient quality, widely overlooked by the hardcore boxing community, was his detailed knowledge of the current landscape in boxing. He knew the strengths and weaknesses of every fighter from New York to Moscow. If a fighter was making waves in a small town in, say, Scotland, he knew about it and would often send one of his team, usually Jose Torres, across the globe on a scouting mission.
This is all good. Oh, that's a danger sign for Bruno.
In 1985, during Tyson's early rise, Cuss took a particular interest in a young, undefeated light heavyweight from the Bronx named Reggie Gross. Gross was trained by Mac Lewis, a prominent figure in the New York boxing scene in the mid-'80s.
Just put it back, Ken.
Lewis helped nurture a talent that remained undefeated as a light heavyweight and one that conquered two notable contenders at the 200-plus pound limit in Jimmy Clark and Smokin' Burt Cooper. Before Cuss D'Amato passed away in late 1985, he left a note to Jose Torres of fighters that he thought Tyson should avoid, at least until his prodigy had gained more experience. At the top of that list was one Reginald Gross. Gross was nimble with decent defensive skills, but that wasn't the reason Cuss wanted no part of him. Tyson's trainer was fearful of the fact that Gross had lost to low-caliber fighters like Anthony Witherspoon and Jack Johnson, yet was able to defeat both Jimmy Clark and Smokin' Burt Cooper within a short period of time. Gross was the sort of fighter that rose to the occasion, defied the odds when it mattered most, and in 1986, there wasn't a more motivating challenge than taking on the Brooklyn Bomber, Kid Dynamite.
First round. He is the most exciting heavyweight the world has been waiting for. The undefeated Mike Tyson from Catskill, New York.
Tyson came face-to-face with Gross on June 13, 1986. Tyson had a record of 21-0 with 19 KOs, while Gross had a record of 18-4 with 12 finishes inside the distance. Tyson looked the more dangerous of the two in the opening round, stalking Gross around the ring, trying to get the job done early. With a minute left on the clock, Gross momentarily stunned Mike with an uppercut followed by a right hook. Seeing a glimpse of weakness, Gross just went all guns blazing to try and shock the world. A devastating, leaping left-hand counter put Gross down and out for the count. In total, Gross threw 18 shots in that short barrage, while Tyson, on the other hand, threw just a single blow. One of the greatest knockouts for Mike that truly emphasized how remarkable his technique was.
Were you surprised by that?
Not at all. At first I thought because he charged out a little with a kind of a sluggish stand, like he's just ready to wing. But I was precarious about it, and I just kept putting the jab in his face, looking forward for him to move forward.
If there is a way to beat Mike Tyson, how do you do it? You want to talk about that one, do you?
I don't. 357 Magnum.
I'm starting to think.
Good chance.
It wasn't until after the Tyson match that we realized boxing was just a mere side hustle for Gross, pocket money to fuel his crippling cocaine addiction. Coming from the tough streets of Baltimore, the influence of crime and gang culture drew Reggie in at an early age. By teenhood, he'd been in and out of the juvenile system for crimes such as theft and robbery. Gross took up boxing in the late 70s, but his life outside the ring never changed. In fact, things only got worse. A lot worse.
3 weeks ago, police and sheriff's departments in Los Angeles.
Doing so, he never looked like a world beater. More so, a man determined to at least fill a sliver of his father's boots. Joe pushed his son to the complete deep end in 1983, having Marvis face off with the #1 heavyweight in the world, Larry Holmes, who at the time had a record of 44-0.
Atlantic City, he didn't have him down.
As many experts predicted, the fight was a complete mismatch, and Larry made sure every spectator at ringside, including Marvis's father, knew of it.
Really putting young Frazier in trouble there. Will he get over his first round? The gum shield comes flying out, and he stopped it in the opening round.
Joe never lost faith in his son, though, pushing him even harder in the direct aftermath, where Marvis regained momentum with impressive wins over Quick Tillis and Bone Crusher Smith. Whether the Fraziers genuinely felt they were ready for Tyson or not, Marvis's ranking among the sanctioning bodies put him in the direct firing line of the most devastating contender in world boxing.
Now entering the ring, the favorite, trains and lives in Catskill, New York, Mike Tyson entering as the Warrior.
Tyson met Frazier at the Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York in July 1986. Tyson paced up and down the ring during the introductions, angry and eager to one-up what Holmes did a couple of years prior. He later admitted that he was scared, but wanted to project his fear onto Marvis, who, by the looks of things, had the exact same idea.
3 judges, the referee does not score, scoring on the round system, supplemental 4-point scoring system if the rounds wind up even, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Tyson comes out slugging.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Frazier is down. Joe Cortez moves in to have a look, and he's going to stop the fight.
Frazier became Tyson's fastest ever victim, out on his feet, absorbing devastating power punches that left him slumped in the corner inside 30 seconds.
Marvis is badly hurt at this point. Uppercut again, and there Marvis is out on his feet. Everything after this is just incidental.
It took a while for Tyson to calm down, pumped up after his, on paper, best win to date. But once he did, he sent a chilling message to the current champions.
And I came out and I was confident. I knew the fight. I felt the deep in my heart I was going to stop him in the first round.
In your mind, if your managers Jim Jacobs and Bill Caton and your trainer Kevin Rooney came to you and said, Mike, we think you're ready for a title shot tomorrow, would you agree with them at this point?
Most definitely. Anytime if my manager and my trainer feel that I'm confident and they're willing to put me in the title and they're sure I could beat the champion, I'm sure I could beat them also.
Of the 3 champions, who would you like to fight and why?
I'd fight anybody my trainer put me in with because I'm confident I could beat any fighter in the world.
With only 21 fights to his name, Marvis Frazier hung up the gloves for good, proud of what he achieved in such a short amount of time. I'd personally never blame Joe for Marvis's career trajectory. On paper, it looks naive, but the truth is he had unconditional love for his son, and I think both were just living a bit of a delusion regarding his potential. Marvis has kept a low profile since retirement, but in this interview from a few years ago, he admits that trying to follow in his father's footsteps was always going to be a near impossible task.
I feel to stand in the shadow of Joe Frazier, and to me, I always thought I was standing in the light because it's a great legacy. You know, my father could have been, a drug dealer. He could have been in prison. He could be a bum on the streets on Skid Row. But my dad is Smoking Joe Frazier.